Franz Anton Mesmer. If you've ever heard the word mesmerizing, this is that guy. That's literally his name turned into a word, which tells you something about the impact that he really did have. Mesmer was a physician in Vienna and later in Paris, and he had this theory, which I'll be honest, sounds pretty wild to our modern ears, that there was an invisible magnetic fluid flowing through the universe and through all living things, and that illness was caused actually by this fluid, blockages in this fluid specifically. He called it animal magnetism, and he believed that by using magnets and later just his hands and his presence, he could restore the flow and heal people. Now, was he right about the magnetic fluid? No, absolutely not. When the French Academy of Sciences investigated him in 1784, they concluded pretty definitely that this invisible fluid did not exist. But here's the fascinating part. His patients were genuinely getting better. People who came to him with paralysis, chronic pain, nervous conditions, many of them experienced real, observable improvement. The committee even noted this. They just couldn't explain it without the magnetic fluid theory behind it, so they dismissed the whole thing. What Mesmer had actually stumbled onto, without having the language or the framework for it, was the power of expectation, belief, and focused suggestion on the human body and the mind. His patients believed something powerful was happening to them, and because they believed it, their physiological tendencies responded accordingly. We would call that the placebo effect, or suggestibility, or the mind-body connection. But in the 1780s, it looked like magic or fraud, depending on who you really truly asked. Now, then comes James Braid, and this is where the story really starts to shift and get momentum. Braid was a Scottish surgeon in the 1840s, so a medical man, a scientist, deeply skeptical by training. He actually went to one of Mesmer's followers' demonstrations, fully intending to debunk the whole thing. He was ready to really call the whole thing a bunch of nonsense. But something made him pause. He noticed that people in these so-called trances, their eyes weren't performing or faking. There was something genuinely neurological happening. The fatigue, the fixed gaze, the altered responsiveness, it was all very real. So, being a scientist, he started experimenting. He had people fix their gaze on a bright object, a wine bottle cork, famously, and what he discovered was that focused attention held long enough naturally produced a state of mental absorption that looked a lot like what Mesmer was actually inducing. No magnets required, no mystical fluid, just the mind doing something it apparently knows how to do quite naturally. He called it neurohypnotism, nervous sleep, which eventually got shortened to hypnosis from hypnos, the Greek god of sleep. Though he later wished he chose a different name because it's not really sleep at all when you look at it. It's actually a very heightened state of focus and receptivity, but the name stuck, obviously. Braid's contribution was huge. He took hypnosis out of the realm of the mystical and put it squarely into the realm of the psychological and neurological field. This isn't supernatural, he was saying. This is just how minds work under certain conditions.